Good morning, everyone. I'm close.
I'm always close.
Look, I feel like I'm close. I'm in a different setting today, so yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Monday morning on BLT. Hello to Giggles, Giggle 1 and Giggle 2. This is how we're starting off our Monday morning. I mean, we keep it real. We come in however we come in. We start our day however it gets started. And so, welcome in. Today would be a good topic. So, Ingrid, good morning, sis.
Good morning. Good
Officially.
morning. I know. I am in a different place, and watching a little one. So I am like discombobulated. I haven't had to do that. My youngest one is like 27 years old. So I haven't had to do that. So it's been interesting this morning. But needless to say, hello, I am Ingrid. I am an executive administrator, entrepreneur, business owner, and with a passion for retail. Hence, the Ingy Pink Network that has IR Pink and Professional Services, RMC exclusive, and who have uh, CMR collection. Look, them people. I'm ready to get into this topic. So that's me. But go ahead, sis. Go ahead. Go on, get your
I'm just
intro.
gonna say good morning. I'm Miss Dom. A lot of you know who I am. If you don't, check out my pages. And we're just gonna dive right in today. We're gonna talk about doubting yourself, and
Yeah.
I don't care how successful you are, and how much you've accomplished, or where you are in your life. This is an area that many of us meet and face. Some daily, some all the time, some sometimes, but it's an area in our life that we all have been through and still go through from time to time, depending on where you are in your life and what is going on at that very moment. And doubting yourself can come in so many different forms. So we're going to talk about that this week. This will be the topic of our week, and we're just going to like kind of just go deep dive into it because it's such a deep conversation. We cannot even cover it all in one day. We'll have a guest on Wednesday, so we'll dive even deeper, talking about some other things. But let's talk about it because I mean, even if we just start on with our minds and the
Right.
things that we say to ourselves throughout the
Right.
day, just daily, just regular conversations that we have. Um, Waking up in the morning, what are you going to do today? What are you supposed to do today that you don't do? I mean, like I said, it's just such a wide topic. And so let's just talk about our mindset, sis. Let's start there, and what our minds do to ourselves.
I think that a lot of times our minds get us to believe something that's not real. Sorry, you guys, for the delay. I'm seeing it on the screen. Um, our minds get us to believe something that isn't real. And we have to get that under control, or else we will go in a direction that has nothing to do with us. So, what I mean by that is, like, when you start to have those things to say, you have to be a super person, or you have to be over and above as far as an achiever, and things like that, or you have to do it solo, you have to do it by yourself. Those kinds of things that play in your mind are tricks of the outside world that's telling you you're not good enough, right? To be in that space. You're not good enough to be doing what you are doing, even though you have been put in that position and in that space to do those things. Something on the outside has said to you, you're not good enough. And those are the things that are behind imposter syndrome, what they have labeled as imposter syndrome, right? Where you show up not as your authentic self, not as your connected self or your confident self, but you show up as what you think other people see you as, which, if you think about that, I like the fact that Annette said allowing anxiety and depression and not good feelings. Absolutely. That will take you over into that area, because now that's all you're concerned about, and that's all that you are worried about. You become worried, you become anxious, you start doing things that are outside of actually who you really are, and you consistently doubt every single thing that you do, which cannot move you forward in what it is that you're doing. It doesn't work that way. It literally paralyzes you. In some instances, it will paralyze you. How do you get past that? You have to change your mindset. All the gurus, even myself and my sis here, Dom, we're all saying the exact same thing. It starts with what you change here and here.
And,
What
so-
you
and
Go ahead,
oh,
girl. Go
sorry,
ahead.
sis. I would just say anxiety and depression is such a big deal for me because I mean, well, for me, I've done extensive research on anxiety and depression, and also I have family members, and just I
Mhm,
mean, it's just a big deal in my life. It's very personal to me, and I absolutely believe that if you have not had a brain test and the
mhm,
doctor has said that something is wrong with your brain
mhm,
and there's a chemical imbalance for reals, that you've done a brain test, a brain wave, and all the scientific research
mhm,
to support why your brain is doing what it's doing, I will fight to the end to say that anxiety and depression are things that we are embedded in our mind and how
mhm,
we think and process information.
mhm,
And I'm not a doctor, so don't hold me to my opinions and my personal research. But
mhm,
it's absolutely what we're saying to ourselves over and over. I can't get up. I can't get out. I can't do this. I can't get out of bed. I just can't. No matter what I do, I cry and I'm sleepy and I'm tired and I just can't. I can't. And
mhm,
the feelings are so overwhelming, right? This is what my family members are going through, personal feeling, people to me, and I understand it because I'm watching it 20
mhm,
something years. I'm watching it and I'm researching it. And I understand that what can happen when
mhm,
we start shifting, when we
mhm,
start believing the opposite of
mhm,
what our brains, our physical body, because anxiety is the physical symptoms of depression.
mhm,
Anxiety is the physical symptoms of what your body is reacting to, the things that your body is saying. If I'm
mhm,
nervous, anxiety is the physical part of that, right?
mhm,
My younger daughter has it, my oldest daughter, and me and Ingrid, we talk about this every morning.
mhm,
And so we absolutely know that oftentimes it's something that we're doing internally and then it comes out physically. And
mhm,
so when we talk about doubting ourselves, that is the extreme. Anxiety and depression is the extreme spectrum of
mhm,
what that looks like. But our
mhm,
minds we're all doing that. We all have a bout of anxiety at different
mhm,
times
mhm,
of our lives. It's just
mhm.
what how we allow it to overpower us. Right? We
Right.
all go through some types of depression at times.
Mhm,
So what is your mind telling you?
mhm,
And I would recommend. I mean, for a lot of us, is to tune out the external pressures of the world.
mhm,
Because if you're not comparing yourselves to what society says you should be, what are you afraid of?
mhm,
What are we really fearing?
mhm,
I I when I talk to my daughter, and again, this is again doubting yourself. I'm like, what's wrong? Can you explain how you're feeling?
mhm,
And they never can, right? You never can. But it's something there that you're fearing. Anxiety is oftentimes a fear of something.
mhm,
And so when we talk about doubt, that's where we could start is what are we fearing?
mhm,
And what? Like who are we afraid of? Our own selves.
mhm,
We're fear we're fearing our own selves, even if we're comparing
mhm,
ourselves to anything, our coworkers, our family, our friends. We don't want to let people down. We don't believe we can do it. It
Mhm.
all comes from ourselves, but oftentimes it comes from external factors,
Mhm.
and so for me, I tune out the news. I
Mhm.
tune out what Facebook has to say.
Mhm.
I don't watch a lot of BS on YouTube, or what people says what everyone should be, or what
Mhm.
could be relationship stuff, family
Mhm.
stuff. I don't watch any of that.
Mhm.
I mean, that's for me. You know why? Because I'm protecting my confidence
Mhm. Mhm.
on a
Mhm.
on a regular basis. If society says I'm supposed to be this and I'm not that, and I keep putting that in my brain over and
Right.
over again, then eventually I'm going to believe that I should be that. But if I
Right.
don't watch any of that, then I'm not impacted by what other people say that I should be. So
Right.
there's no doubt because I don't have anything to compare it to.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. I thoroughly agree. Going back just a little bit to what you were talking about, clinically diagnosed with a mental health disorder. Um, Let me say that is that even being even being clinically diagnosed with a mental disorder, you still have to do something. The medication can only do so much, and I'm saying that because I have quite a few family members that hit close to home too. Okay. And even myself, when the pandemic first happened, I fell into the whole going to the doctors and all of that because I couldn't understand why I was crying all the time and what was going on. And the doctor prescribed me some medication saying you're really having a hard time with this, and so you are having some mental challenges right now. But even in addition to, you can pop a pill, but if you don't if you don't change something going on in here, when that medication kicks in, or when you take that pill, it doesn't magically things just happen. You have to do something yourself. You have to, there, even if it's a small change, even if you have to take more time. And like you said, I don't watch the news. I'm not scrolling for anything that's on my news feed. If it's negative or whatever, I'm putting thumbs down. I don't want to hear those things. So for a year and a half, I had to do that. And doctor said, okay, you everything's looking good. You're handling everything now, right? So those are things that you have to consciously do, though, because a lot of times, I mean, you don't want to stay there forever. I have a child that actually has a severe mental disability, and so I understand that, right? um but you have to change your mindset, because if you don't, it will take you to a place you don't want to go. You will not be able to move forward. Let me say something. There are times when you get overwhelmed, or there's things going on in your life. I don't care if you cry through it. Still do it.
Right.
Still
Hmm.
do it. That feeling is temporary. It's temporary. And it is going to take you to the next level once you get on the other side of it. When you get on the other side of it, I'm telling you what I know. When you get on the other side of it, you will feel different. You'll feel different.
I, Thank you guys. I mean, we're real people and we have
Mhm.
real conversations, and we never know. Like, we didn't even know we were going to be talking about these things this morning. We just talked. The topic was doubting yourself, and we just never know. I mean, and the idea is that we're living these things in real life,
Mhm.
right? And it is hurtful and it is painful because sometimes we go through things, or we're watching our children go through things and we can't
Mhm.
help them. And sometimes you have the remedy or the proper support to guide them through, and they don't understand it yet. And so, because it's going to take them, it's going to take them to shift their own mind.
Mhm.
Mental health disorders are a huge deal in our society. But
Mhm.
oftentimes, I'm still going to stand by this. It is our mind. It's obsessive mindset disorder.
Mhm.
More than anything else, our minds are just going and going and going and going, and we don't know how to turn it off.
Yeah.
And it impacts what we're able to do. It
Mhm.
impacts our belief in ourselves. It impacts our self-esteem. It
Mhm.
impacts our confidence, how we walk, how we talk, what we do every day, getting out of bed. I mean, it impacts our entire life. And so this is why personal development is so important to me.
Mhm.
Counseling is important because counseling helps you unravel and dig through things, but the personal development deep work is so
Mhm.
important to me because it helps you walk through the stuff right now. What can
Right.
you do right now? I care about what you went through. I care about your story, the counseling and unraveling and digging deep.
Mhm.
Counselors serve their purpose. I did it for 20 years. I know what counseling can do. But this personal development work is a different beast because
Yes.
it has the ability to help you overpower and overcome right now. Right now,
Mhm.
me and Ingrid did personal development training with me, but I've been doing this work for 8 years now, and
Mhm.
so it's so powerful because I understand it, and I mean, so I'm walking in a different space
Mhm.
because because I because I'm a different person, and so me and Ingrid experience a lot of the same things and share a lot of the same hurts, a lot of the same hurts, and so it is painful.
Mhm.
Doubting yourself stops your life. Let me tell
Yeah.
you, it
Mhm.
it it stops your life. If you are not where you want to be, you're doubting yourself.
Mhm.
100%. You're
Mhm.
living in stagnation. You're living
Mhm.
in fear. You're living in low vibration. You don't have enough confidence in yourself to go after your dreams. Your dreams are
Mhm.
not big enough. I mean, these are things that we talk about on the show every single show because it's real. It's real.
Mhm.
If my sister is hurting, there's something there
Mhm.
that's hurting me too. But it's just, my sister is hurting, and something came up for her. Something came up for her in this conversation, and we'll talk about it after the show. But it's something that came up for her, whether it's her child or herself. It's something there.
Mhm.
Again, it's another area of fear. It's
Mhm.
another area of fear. And how do we overcome that? How do we overcome that? When those feelings and emotions come up, you have to process. You have to allow yourself to feel them in that moment. She allowed
Mhm.
cry because she allowed herself to feel in that moment,
Right.
and then we process through it, and
Mhm.
we the idea is to have an action plan behind those feelings that are coming up for us. What are we gonna do about it? Cry, and then what? Right?
Right.
That's then
Exactly.
what? The
Mhm.
then the then what comes from how do we overcome and walk through these things so we can become a better person for ourselves and our loved ones and everyone
Right.
else in the world. You have
Right.
any sister?
One of the things that I wanted to say about that is that, um I try to be I am very authentic on this show. And even more so now because um I have been through, of course, our leadership training, but yes, just like Dom, I've done lots of work on myself even before this. So as you going through your personal development, things get better and better, and they hit hard, they hit you right in the areas that you needed if you allow yourself to be led that way. If you have the mindset of I'm going to get what I need out of this. I'm going to get what is going to help to propel me forward and make me a better person for the world, right? For my family, for myself, for my family, for my community, for my city, state, and in the world, of course. So, with that being said, is that being a person that very is very controlled and very, the I am a task oriented person. That's where I live. I don't live in my feelings. So I'm very neutral about things, and I was even before that, before I knew what neutrality was about, being very neutral about things. I was always neutral. So if it happened, it happened. If it didn't, it didn't. There was no emotions behind that. But when something did come up, I would stuff my feelings, right? Because you don't want anybody to see that. So of course, doubting, right? If you see me vulnerable, I'm doubting that you're going to take me seriously anymore, because you're going to think I'm weak. Okay. So going through that, and I'm sorry you guys for the lag, I see it's happening. Um, Going through that though has led me to understand that even if I do have a moment, and it's hard being a mom and thinking about what my child is going through, that I can't do anything about it. So that's where that came from. So thinking about those things and experiencing that feeling right now, but also being able to be transparent with you, saying, even though I'm crying, I'm still going to push through it. I'm not going to run off the camera. I'm going to be authentic and connect with you, because I know someone can understand and feel my story. Right. So saying that, you do that in all things though, not just in one thing. Do that in your career. I don't care if you got to get up from your thing and you're frustrated, you're whatever, you go in the bathroom and you gonna change your mindset. You need to go in the bathroom, go in the stall and cry, and then say, you know what, I deserve to be here, I deserve to be respected, I deserve to. You know who you are. Remind yourself in that moment exactly who you are, and come out and be that person. Don't let anything outside change what you already know. You already know those things. Don't doubt it. Don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt where you are. Don't doubt where you're going. Know that that is designed for you. And that's where you are going to be when it's time for you to get there, because you're already making the moves to be there. So, fear is a false expectation appearing real. Think about that. Always remember that acronym.
Well,
It's fall. In I can make it real. If I give it the energy, it becomes real. If I give it that, it becomes real. Yes, some things we're fearful. It's a fight or flight thing, absolutely, right? Get that. But when there's something that you know that you have the ability to be able to change, I'm saying you have the ability to be able to change, right? Because some things you can't change. But if you have the ability to be able to change it, but you're fearing it, but you can change it, then what's the what is the expectation? What are you thinking? Why do you feel paralyzed? Identify that. Identify that for yourself, so that you can disparage that, get it out of your way, and move forward, even if it's one little step. Go ahead, sis. I'm gonna get something on that.
I would add, even for the things that you can't control, you
Mm-hmm.
still can control how you think about them and how you process
Right.
through.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things in our life are things that we cannot control,
Mm-hmm.
and they also create doubt and self-esteem issues and lack of um, confidence on what I'm able to do in those situations. But there's always something to do to negate the feelings that you're getting. A feeling is something that we create. It doesn't just come. Sadness is something we create
Mm-hmm.
based on ourselves and how we're thinking about the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we're talking about self doubt, I always like to lead with what can we do about it?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things, I would always say is to challenge the limiting the beliefs, the negative beliefs that we're telling ourselves. How do
Mm-hmm.
you challenge that? Where do those things come from? You
Mm-hmm.
need to identify what those things are. You didn't just say that I can't do stuff and that I'm not good enough and that I'm not worthy. It didn't just pop up. You didn't just one day wake up and be like, oh, I can't. I'm not feeling too good about this. I'm not feeling that. That didn't just come up. So first is to identify what the negative belief is and
Mm-hmm.
to challenge that with something that you are good at. Everyone is great at many things. What did you do that was good? And it might be small to you, so you might not think you can identify it, right? We on our motivation Mondays, we always start with a brag. Say something great about yourself,
Mm-hmm.
because and then people stumble.
Mm-hmm.
Stumble. And so I want to start challenging you to start thinking about things about yourself that are good about you, great
Mm-hmm.
about you, excellent about you. You've done something. You've done many great things
Mm-hmm. Yep.
throughout your day, throughout your years, throughout your life,
Mm-hmm.
however you want to look at it. You've done
Mm-hmm.
great things. And so
Right.
if you start thinking more of the good things you've done for yourself, like I am, yes, I am a good mom. Yes, I was a good wife.
Mm-hmm.
I can cook. I can write a great letter.
Mhm.
I can help heal my friends. I am a good
Mhm.
communicator. I mean, what is it that you're good at? You are great at so many things that you push down and you don't give yourself enough credit for. Man, cheer
Hello.
yourself on. If you don't cheer yourself,
Right.
nobody else is gonna cheer you on.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
and so I would challenge you to start there is to really start thinking about what it is that is limiting your beliefs and what are you great at, and start writing them down.
Yep.
Write them down. Write down at least 5 today of things that you are great at, good at, that you believe in yourself in. When you think about it, like, girl, yes, that's me. And
Yep.
or if any guys are watching, do it to yourself. Like, what is it? And get excited about it. Get excited about
Yeah.
you. You get excited about you. Because guess
Right.
what? If you don't have no good energy about yourself and you're walking around all bah humbug all the time, people are gonna treat you like that.
Yep. That's
They're
true.
gonna treat you like that. So when we talk about stop doubting yourself, start giving yourself some love.
Hello.
Start
That's
there.
right.
Start
Yep.
there. When you start feeling good about who you are, then
Mhm.
those some of those things will start reversing.
Mhm.
Reversing. I can do that. Oh, I am good at that. Oh, I can make
Yep.
that call. What's the worst that can happen? You'll start thinking like that. All they can do is say no. Right before you be
That's
like, oh,
right.
I don't want to make that call because I don't know what they're gonna girl bye. All they can do is say right.
Yep.
But we all have them. We
Right.
all do this to ourselves at times. But
Mhm.
that would be my challenge and how I would start, and then we'll go from there. Is just start there. Just start there. Sissy, you have anything?
I would say to those things that she said to write them down. I would say if you have some sticky notes, grab your sticky notes and write it down and put it on a mirror that you look into or something like that. Put it in in your personal bathroom or on a wall or something that you can look at every single day to know that those five things are the things that make you you. Those are the things that you need to concentrate on. Those are the successes. Those are the wins that you need to concentrate yourself on, right? So I can tell you mine. I am a direct, confident, passionate leader. That's who I am. So every day when I wake up, I say, I am a direct, confident, passionate leader. Right? And
What's
that's how
my
I show up.
I be forgetting to say mine, but I mean, and this is, I mean, again, this is what we claim over our lives. I am a
Mhm.
connected, committed, courageous leader, and in those words are so many other words, right? So
Mhm.
many other things can come from just those three words. I am a connected, committed, courageous leader, and and so we claim those things over our lives. In that is love, respect, trust, and all these other things that can
Mhm.
fall under those few words. And so I would add before we leave is learning to be assertive and not so timid with yourself.
Mhm.
And when you do that, you're respecting other people, but you're also respecting yourself.
Right.
You're respecting yourself. And so the more respect that you start giving yourself, the less
Mhm.
doubt that you'll have on yourself because you're not
Absolutely.
allowing people to just do you any type of way. You're not falling into circumstances and situations that you don't want to be in.
Right.
You start making better decisions over your life that impact your daily routine. One bad decision because you're not assertive and don't believe in yourself can have a long-term dire effect. I'm
Yes.
living it, right? I mean, I'm still undoing things that I made
Mhm.
bad decisions about many years ago. And so being assertive and
Yeah.
confident and creates powerful leaders. And when we talk about
Mhm.
leaders, we're talking about leaders in everything. Leaders in your parenting, leaders in your
Mhm.
relationship with your husband or wife,
Mhm.
leaders in your community, leaders on your job. You don't have to
Mhm.
be like a high level CEO to be a leader. You could be a
Right.
leader in your life right now. We're
Yep.
all supposed to be leaders in some capacity over your family, over
Mhm.
yourself. And so that's another thing I want to add is just being assertive and being respectful of yourself will
Mhm.
lead into less doubt of yourself.
Hmm. Hello. That part. I want to say.
Real quick. On Wednesday, we're gonna continue this conversation. We're gonna have Chris Colbert on here. He has a company called Rich Before 50. He's highly successful in Sacramento, and he's going to be digging into the imposter syndrome and walking through that and walking into success as you walk out of that syndrome. So meet us here on Wednesday for that conversation.
All right now. So, thank you guys so much for joining us today. I wanted to let you know that we are coming to the end of season 1 of Business Love and Tidbits, you guys. This is our last week. So, we're going to take some time off and so we can revamp some things and come to you fresh. So, you guys are going to miss us for a couple of weeks. But I wanted to just let you know that so that you weren't jumping up looking for us. But enjoy this week. We're going to bring you some rich stuff now. Okay. Monday, today, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 a.m. Pacific time because we're in Cali. And until then, we will see you on Wednesday when our guest will be again. One more time, Miss Dawn.
Oh, the person
Yes.
Rich Before 50. Look up Rich Before 50.
Rich Before 50 with Chris, and he's going to dive more into the imposter syndrome and doubting yourself. So you might want to stay tuned for that. We will see you on Wednesday. Bye.